Hello guys, welcome back to my sewing corner. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, you're very much welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Today's tutorial is very simple DIY, trust me. I'm going to be showing you how to make this pleats, this kiss pleats all around your armhole. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you how to make the band. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be using for the project. I'm going to be showing you how you can hide your stitch and everything you need to know for this project. Okay, so please stay tuned if you're interested in this, and do not skip any part because I'm going to be sharing tips and tricks along the way as we go on. Okay, so make sure you watch to the end and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. So let's just go straight into the tutorial. So guys, you're going to need a fabric for the pleats. Okay, so I'm going to be using this different fabric so that we can see it clearly, and then you're going to need your bodies. Okay, so here I have the front and back bodies. You can see from the neckline that is the front bodies and this is the back bodies, but there's no zip allowance in this because I'm only using this for illustration. Okay, then you need to join your shoulder. As you can see, you join it together, join both shoulder line together. Okay, so for the purpose of this tutorial I had to overlock all the edges. Okay, so that means if you're making this for your own dress or for your client, make sure you have either turned in the rough edges on the armhole, okay, or either you have turned it with lining or with a ribbon, or you've overlocked it. Okay, so make sure the armhole is already neat. Since it's going to be an armless sleeve, armless bodies, you're only going to be sewing a pleat around the armhole curve. Okay, so and I'm going to be using this fabric, like I said. I don't know if I've said it, but I'm going to be using this one just for us to be able to differentiate. Okay, for you to determine the measurements you need for the pleat. Actually, there's no fixed formula for it. You pleat as you want, but what I do, okay, is to measure the armhole round. Okay, you can see that I've opened it up. So you're going to measure the armhole round both for the front and the back body. So you're going to leave like half-inch allowance, or the allowance you need to sew on. What that means is if you were to join both armholes together for your front and back bodies, whatever allowance you meant to leave, okay, if it is 2 inches or 1 inch, leave that, and then after that start measuring round. Okay, so but because I'm just using this for a tutorial, I'm going to leave just half-inch on both sides that we just used to join both sides together, both front and back together. So I'm just going to measure round, but I'll subtract 1 inch from my actual measurements. Don't worry, you will get it. I'm going to start measuring from this extreme end. Okay, measure it, tilt your tape roll as you measure. It's curved, so you tilt it and then you're going to measure it all around. Okay, so here I have 15, as you can see, and like I said, I'm going to take half on both sides for joining. So that means I'm going to subtract 1 inch from that. So that means I have 14 inches. Okay, for the round armhole. So for the pleats, you can decide to make it double or triple. It depends on how full you want your pleats to be. So this is the kiss pleat. So for here I have my fabric, and that's for the length. So but for the width of the fabric we're using for the pleat, you're going to I recommend that you use 4 inches. So by the time you fold it, that is 2 inches. Then you leave half-inch allowance. So in total I have 4.5 inches here. As you can see, I have 4.5 inches here. So that means by the time I fold it, okay, I'm going to sew on half-inch, so leaving 2 inches for the pleat. So right now I'll go back to the sewing machine and I'm going to just go and sew on the half-inch, folding the right sides in. Okay, as you can see. But for the length, I have about 30 inches here on fold. That's 60 inches. Let's see what this one gives us, then I can recommend what to use for yours. Okay, guys, after joining, as you can see, before you turn it out, fold it like this. So you have this center here, then you fold it like this. So one thing I want you to do is to notch the center like this. Okay, please, I have not turned it, and you can see that's the right side inside. So then you come, because we want to conceal one part of the band. These are a long band. Then make sure that this joint part meets with the center that you notched. Okay, can you see that? Can you see? Then you go over to the sewing machine and sew on half-inch, opening this part so that I can lay properly. Okay, can you see what I have just done? Then I'll go over and just close this extreme end. Okay, so guys, once you're done with that, to have it, you can see I've joined it Okay, so to have a neat stitch before you turn it, you can go ahead and give it a press, okay, like this, opening this same allowance, okay, all through. Then you turn it in out, okay, so that you can have the right side. So as you iron, you open it. So I'm going to explain the reason we are sewing it this way as we go ahead, so that I don't confuse you. Okay, so make sure you can see, then you do that all through the tail, the length of the band. Guys, as you can see, I've done that. I've given it a good press all through the length of my band. Okay, so right now you can see it's laid flat. What you need to do, get a pen or any long object that you can see, but that is not too sharp, okay, so that it doesn't puncture your fabric, and make sure you open. You can see this is the part that was sewn. Okay, so you push it in like this. Can you see? And then don't worry about the one you iron, it's still going to lay flat. Okay, then you push it, put your pen in. Okay, I need it to hold on something, so okay, then you pull your, can you see, then you pull your fabric, okay, like that, so till you turn it in out. Okay, if you have another method you use, please go ahead and use it. I'm just using this one. Okay, so you push it till you get to the other hand. Okay, iron it before you turn it out helps you to have like the one you can trace, like the one you can follow when you've turned it out. Okay, so that it can be easy. Okay, so I'm just turning this edges out. Okay, as you can see, then you're gonna give it a final press. Okay, so but because we've ironed this before turning it out, so you don't have to stress yourself too much. Okay, so when you're ironing, iron on the side that has this joining. Okay, you know this is the sealed part. Okay, so the reason why we turn this way, so that we can have that part at the center, so by the time we start pleating, you won't see any stitch at this side or at this side. Okay, you know, if we did not make the adjustment we made at this side before we turned it out, you'll be seeing the stitches here because you just turn it to one side, but now we've shifted the stitch to the center. Okay, so and this one will be on the fabric, on the sleeve, on the armhole, so we won't be seeing it. So that way we've concealed that stitch that way. I hope you understand. So right now I'm just going to give it a final press before we start pleating. Okay, so like I said, make sure you iron on this place so that you can make adjustments as you go. Okay, so that you can make sure that it's at the center. Okay, both sides are equally shared. Okay, guys, as you can see, I don't know if it's very clear showing you that this is the way the stitch was made. You can see that I've ironed it and it's at the center. Okay, so and this is the other side that will be showing on my fabric. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my bodice. Okay, now we're going to open it up. As you can see, the front and back after you've joined your arm and your shoulder. Okay, so we're going to just make a pleat kiss. So please, I forgot, you're going to close this part after you've turned it out. Okay, so you go ahead to notch the center as well. Okay, so that it can meet, and then you fold in the half inch and you give it a top stitch. That's it, it's been done. Okay, so next we're going to start pleating. So I'm going to leave ½ inch allowance here. Remember we did that while we're calculating, and I'm going to start by pleating it. You see this center that has this allowance is going to be on your armhole, the one that you've knit. Okay, the armhole that you have weaved or turned in the rough edges. Okay, so you're going to place it in such a way that half of your band is on your bodice and half is on the sleeve. Okay, I'm going to leave the ½ inch allowance like I said, then make sure that the half, you can see that this is where my stitch is, and I'm placing it on that side of the armhole. Okay, then you pin that to just hold it, because you're going to first give it a stitch before you start pleating. Okay, that's optional anyway. You can start pleating immediately, so you need to be very careful while pleating this so that you can get a very neat job. Okay, so you pleat, make sure both sides of your pleat align. Okay, you can see, so it's going to be a kiss pleat. Can you see? Okay, then you hold it, check the other side before you go to sew, make sure that the center aligns. Okay, so you can decide to make the kiss pleat meet or give it allowance, but please make sure that the center of your band and center of your armhole or this one meets. The next one, you pleat it like that till you get to the extreme end of the armhole. So I'll go and do that and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, so guys, this is what I have, as you can see, from this extreme end. Now I came back to show you what to do when you have excess. So remember I said I cut out 60 inches for this my band, but because now I can see that it's too much, so let me show you what you're going to do. So before you get to the last pleat, you can see I still have a bit of like 1.5 inches from the armhole. Okay, so you're going to just calculate what you're going to need for the final pleat. And so obviously, because this one I can't give you the one more full kiss plate, so I'm just going to give you just one plate and then the allowance to turn it in, because I'm going to be cutting this out. Then I'm going to give it 1/2 inch to turn it in. So what you're going to do is to just fold it in, okay, and then cut that part out so that you can use it for the other sleeve. Okay, so now I'll just go over to the sewing machine, and then before I even go continue the plate, I'll just conceal this one by folding in the 1/2 inch allowance. Okay, so once I've done that, okay, so once I've sealed this part, I hope you can see it. Once I've sealed this part, I'm going to continue the pleat like this, okay, so that I can still have my 1/2 inch for joining here. Okay, so I'll go and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. So before I do that, let me measure out what I have left here so that you can know what to calculate for yours. Okay, so I have about 17.5 inches here. So if you're cutting your own band, I advise that you make it very long, and it's better you have excess than shortage. So make it very long, and then depending on your size, you know that. So I was able to use 60 minus 17. So let's just say that minus the allowances and everything, I was able to use like 40 inches for one armhole for the small bodies. Armhole that is about 14 inches, okay, both the front and back. So definitely you can guess how much of the fabric you're going to use by the time you're pleating yours. Okay, so this is what it's looking like by the time you fold it, so you can see how beautiful it is. So you can also decide to make your pleats smaller. Guys, right now I'll just go over to the sewing machine and join my 1/2 inch on both sides. Okay, the allowance I gave for the joining. Guys, this is what I have. You can see how beautiful it's looking, and this is what the armhole is looking like. And you see the armpits area. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to go over to the machine. As you can see, I don't like this part that's showing. I'm just going to lay this one on this one. Okay, so if you've closed yours too much, you just loosen it a bit and lay it on it so that the stitch looks continuous. Okay, once you're done with that, that's it. That's the end of the tutorial. So you can do the same thing for the other side of the sleeve, and then that's it. Very easy and simple. So let me know if you have any questions for me concerning this. I'll be in the comment section to answer your questions. And with this, guys, we've come to the end of this tutorial. If you like it, please click on the like button, and do not forget to share with your friends and also subscribe. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.